Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Indana Zulfa. I'm from Group 5 and now I will explain about values and expectation and diversity in higher education. So the first one is values and expectation. Sometimes classroom norms and values in one country is different from another country. Here is the example of differences. You can see in the screen. In the right column of the example of norms, we can see that it looks like representing an Eastern culture such as Indonesia, and in the left column, it looks like representing a Western culture such as America. When international or immigrant students attending school in USA, they can experience a multiple culture shock. It is because they accustomed their country's educational expectation, but in reality, there are differences from USA educational values. Some American students are appreciate these differences, but some of them also can accept about it. And next is diversity in higher education. In USA, after finishing their high school education, some people who want to continuing their higher education have a variety of institutions in higher education that they can select. Well, there are two kinds of institutions in higher education. That is university or college, which take time for about 4 years. So students who take study in university are pursue a specific degree as their goals, and the another higher education is junior college, which take time for about 2 years. So for students who select junior college as their higher education, they may simply want to receive specific vocational training that will assist them in their job. For example, computer programmer or language institution. Well, everything is returned to the needs of students. But the diversity in higher education, it's not only about the institution, but also the age of students. In American culture, there is a saying, you are never too old to learn. So in higher education, you can see that the older and the younger people studying together. The example of factor that cause diversity of age in higher education, such as they encourage to gain new skills, or they want to change their careers, which often requires additional education. Maybe when they were younger, they were too busy to take an additional education, but when they older, they have time for studying again, and they want taking vocational training in higher education. So that's all for me. Thank you. The next material will be delivered by Ika. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, materi selanjutnya yaitu tentang active participation. Nah, yang pertama ini ada allowing the student to take the lead in learning. Jadi biasanya dosen atau instruktur di sana akan membiarkan mahasiswanya untuk memilih topik apa yang akan mereka gunakan dalam diskusi atau presentasi. Selain itu, biasanya mereka akan dibebaskan juga dalam memilih buku sumber atau teks sumber yang akan mereka gunakan dalam diskusi mereka, seperti sumber artikel atau bahkan sumber buku dan lain sebagainya. Lalu yang kedua ini ada in some courses the teacher has only a managerial role. Jadi biasanya dosen di sana hanya akan memanajemen kelas, keberlangsungan kelas. Jadi biasanya mahasiswa yang sepenuhnya akan menjalankan kegiatan belajar mengajar. Dosen di sini hanya akan memanajemen kegiatan belajar mengajar mereka. Lalu yang ketiga ini ada instructor prefer to guide the class without dominating. Seperti yang saya katakan tadi, dosen di sana tidak akan mendominasi kegiatan belajar mengajar. Jadi di sini murni keaktifan siswa yang akan dilihat. Jadi semua kegiatan belajar mengajar di sini tergantung dengan siswa itu sendiri yang menjalankan. Lalu yang terakhir ini ada in math still using traditional method. Nah, biarpun tadi kesannya mahasiswa yang lebih aktif karena semuanya diatasi oleh mahasiswa itu sendiri, namun dalam mata kuliah matematika di sini mereka masih menggunakan metode tradisional di mana dosen di sana akan menjelaskan materi, lalu mahasiswanya akan mencatat hal-hal apa yang perlu mereka catat. Lalu yang kedua di sini yaitu tentang the teacher-student relationship. Nah, yang pertama ini ada instructor doesn't respect to student who comes to class only to take an exam. Jadi di sini biasanya dosen lebih respect kepada mahasiswa yang hadir di setiap pertemuannya. Mereka tidak akan respect kepada mahasiswa yang hadir hanya ketika ujian akan dilangsungkan. Mereka menganggap bahwa mahasiswa di sini harus bisa berbaur dengan lingkungannya sendiri. Jadi mereka lebih respect kepada mahasiswa yang hadir di setiap pertemuan atau di setiap kelasnya. Lalu yang kedua ini ada instructor can be a teacher and also friend. Nah, teacher di sana bisa menjadi teman sekaligus guru. Misalnya ada seorang mahasiswa atau murid yang membutuhkan bantuan, nah mereka bisa menjadi teman ketika di luar kelas, dan mereka bisa jadi guru ketika di dalam kelas. Mereka akan memberikan perhatian lebih ketika di luar kelas kepada mahasiswa yang memang membutuhkan perhatian. Lalu yang ketiga ada the student must appropriately adapt their behavior and attitude. Biarpun dosen atau guru di sana bisa menjadi teman, tetapi siswa di sana atau mahasiswa di sana harus bisa membiasakan atau bisa menyesuaikan diri mereka ketika di kelas dan di luar kelas. Biarpun di luar kelas mereka berteman, tetapi di kelas mereka harus bisa menyesuaikan diri bahwa mereka hanya sebatas guru dan murid, bukan teman. Selanjutnya akan disampaikan oleh teman saya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Hersagita Anissa Hayati. Kali ini saya akan menjelaskan mengenai trust, honesty, and the honor system. Oke, apa itu honor system? Honor system is a system as at a college whereby persons are trusted to abide by the regulation as per a code of conduct without supervision or surveillance. Jadi, honor system itu sistem di perguruan tinggi di mana orang atau siswa dipercaya untuk mematuhi peraturan tanpa pengawasan. Jadi, tanpa pengawasan, mereka dituntut untuk jujur. Trust, honesty, and honor system menjadi important expectation in American education. Kemudian, apabila ada siswa yang melakukan pelanggaran, maka dapat mengakibatkan failing a course atau kegagalan di dalam mata pelajaran. Yang kedua ada having a permanent record in the student's files or even being suspended, atau memiliki catatan permanen di arsip siswa atau bahkan ditangguhkan. Dan yang terakhir expelled from the university, atau dikeluarkan dari universitas itu sendiri. Oke, selanjutnya example of academic dishonesty such as plagiarism or using other people's work and submitting it as your own without citing the source. Yang kedua ada cheating atau menyontek, including task, take-home exam, and paper. Yang ketiga ada fabrication, yaitu reporting false or inaccurate data, atau melaporkan data yang salah atau tidak akurat. Kemudian ada aiding dishonesty atau membantu ketidakjujuran, knowingly providing information to another student that would be used dishonestly. Yang terakhir ada falsification of records and official documents, including forging signature or information on academic documents. Salah satu contohnya yaitu memasukkan tanda tangan. Selanjutnya, plagiarism or presenting another's idea as one's own is a concept tied to cultural belief. Plagiarisme atau menghadirkan gagasan orang lain sebagai milik sendiri adalah konsep yang terkait dengan kepercayaan budaya. American belief in order respect for other people's property. Things that are considered as private property such as the words and ideas of academicians, scholars, and researchers. When international students are accused of the plagiarism, it may be that they omitted the citation out of ignorance and not because of dishonesty. Jadi ketika siswa internasional dituduh melakukan plagiarisme, mungkin mereka menghilangkan kutipan karena ketidaktahuan dan bukan karena ketidakjujuran. Di dunia akademik, Amerika menganggap kurangnya kutipan sama saja dengan ide yang dicuri. Banyak mahasiswa dari negara lain tidak memiliki kesamaan pemikiran tentang private property, khususnya private property dalam bentuk ide atau penelitian. Oleh karena itu, apabila ada siswa internasional tidak mengetahui hal ini, tetap saja mereka harus beradaptasi dengan aturan perguruan tinggi atau universitas tersebut. Adapun hal yang American University Administrator could not excuse of the dishonest behavior despite the students' cultural backgrounds, such as any falsification of official school document, and it is punishable. Selanjutnya, competition and grading. Relationship between students in the classroom can be either cooperative or competitive. Sometimes students are willing to share notes and be helpful toward each other. However, in some courses, students may be reluctant to share lecture notes or other information for fear that their own grade will suffer. Biasanya competition ini terjadi di kelas yang menggunakan grading curve, yang mana nilai individu dihitung dengan nilai lainnya, agar tidak mengurangi nilai siswa itu sendiri. Selanjutnya, grading. Grading adalah tindakan pengklasifikasian. Pengklasifikasian di sini menggunakan GPA atau Grade Point Average. Biasanya kita menyebutnya IPK. GPA ini merupakan sistem penilaian kinerja siswa yang pada umumnya digunakan di negara US atau Amerika Serikat, yang artinya cara untuk mengukur prestasi akademik siswa. GPA or Grade Point Average is the other reason for the presence of competition among students. GPA menjadi alasan lain adanya kompetisi antara siswa karena GPA is needed for entrance to superior graduate school, atau GPA ini diperlukan untuk masuk ke sekolah pasca sarjana. Sekian dari saya, terima kasih.
I'm Alfian Widya Stuti, and now I'd like to explain about student stress and coping. For younger students, the stress of taking exams and meeting deadlines can cause difficulty for those not used to responsibility and intense work. Pembelajar muda ini biasanya mengalami tekanan ketika mengerjakan ujian ataupun mengejar tugas deadline karena mereka tidak terbiasa dengan hal seperti itu. For older students with children or with experience in jobs or military adapt to pressure and stress more easily. Bagi pembelajar yang lebih tua, baik mereka yang sudah memiliki anak ataupun memiliki pengalaman kerja, mereka sudah terbiasa atau sudah bisa beradaptasi dengan tekanan atau stres yang terjadi di lingkungan pendidikan mereka. Older students are less likely to be intimidated by instructors and professors. When some American students find it difficult to cope and have excessive stress, they may seek counseling. Siswa di Amerika itu apabila mereka menghadapi kesulitan dalam dunia perkuliahan maupun dunia sekolah, mereka akan melakukan counseling, and they usually consult with college counselors or psychologists. Many schools and colleges offer peer counseling. Peer counseling is students helping their other friends because they may prefer to share their problems with someone in the same age and has similar problems. For international and new immigrant student in the US, counseling is not comfortable because in many cultures, some people doesn't like to share their personal problems to the strangers. There are certain things that students can do to cope with problems. According to one university handbook, students are advised to try to manage stress by doing: first, exercise regularly; second, make certain you get enough sleep during stressful time; the third, learn to relax your body; fourth, set priorities, think about one concern at a time; fifth, learn to accept what you cannot change; sixth, learn to say no, means that don't force yourself to do something that you don't want to do. 7, talk it out, means share your problems to someone you trust. 8, know your limits, means take care of yourself. 10, make time for fun. 11, avoid self-medications like drugs and alcohol. And then the last, develop a support network of friends. Move on to the next slide. International and immigrant students in the United States. There are some predictable problem areas
for international and immigrant students studying in the United States. First, making friends. Making friends is challenge both for foreign students and American students. Many colleges and universities offer a variety of students' clubs and organizations where both foreign and American students have a greater chance of meeting people with shared interests. Jadi, banyak kampus di sana yang menawarkan berbagai macam klub ataupun organisasi di mana siswa internasional maupun siswa Amerika itu sendiri memiliki kesempatan besar untuk bertemu banyak orang yang memiliki minat yang sama dengan mereka. Sometimes foreign students and immigrant students find Americans to be cliquish. Cliquish itu seperti tidak welcome untuk berteman. If people feel excluded from the social aspects of American college life, they should actively seek people with shared interests. Apabila seseorang merasa bahwa dirinya dikucilkan di kehidupan perkuliahan di Amerika, maka mereka harus secara aktif menemukan seseorang yang memiliki minat yang sama dengan mereka. And then second, disoriented during the first few weeks at a new school. Because they don't understand about the system and also they are not willing to ask questions. Many students do not take advantage of the numerous services offered on campus that assist students in developing new skills and social group. Banyak siswa yang tidak mengambil kesempatan dari banyaknya pelayanan yang diberikan oleh kampus yang bertujuan untuk membantu siswa dalam meningkatkan kemampuannya dan juga kemampuan dalam berkelompok sosial. Students who appear to be most successful in learning the ropes are those who take the initiative to ask questions, look at resources, and experience new social situations. Nah, siswa ini dianggap berhasil dalam mempelajari banyak hal apabila mereka inisiatif untuk bertanya, untuk memberikan ide ataupun pendapat, dan juga mengalami situasi sosial baru. And then, the American classroom is governed by numerous culturally dictated attitudes and expectations. Kelas di Amerika itu diatur oleh berbagai etika dan ekspektasi budaya di Amerika sana. For example, educational practices such as honor system and students' participation indicates a respect for individual responsibility and independence. Foreign and immigrant students should anticipate that cross-cultural misunderstanding may arise as a result of differences. So, students' awareness of cultural differences and flexibilities are important for enhancing successful learning.